All right. Hello, everyone, and we are live. And welcome to Pastrami Nation's Break Therapy. I'm Kevin, and joining me today, of course, the Godfather of Toys, Mr. Christian Nicorda. How you doing today, sir?
I like turtles. I've spent the last week and a half buying turtles, hunting turtles. It's a problem. This is going to be a fun summer, but I'm looking
No,
good. How are you doing?
it's the best kind of problem to have. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. As we can see, I got a better computer, so it's not gonna shut down every 30 seconds, and I'm not gonna glitch. So far, I haven't glitched on this computer.
No
Um,
interruptions from Zod.
no interruptions from Zod, or any of that
Pablo,
fun
what's
stuff.
up?
What's up, Pablo? How you doing? Thank you for joining us, man. Happy to see you. Before we get started, thank you guys for checking out the show. Thank you guys for wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. Really, really appreciate it. Wherever you're listening or you're watching, can you please just hit that like and subscribe button? Give us a share. Also, that helps us out a lot. Gets us out in front of more people, more eyes. So this is Pastrami Nation's Brick Therapy, where we normally talk Lego collectibles and stuff like that. But we also are a pop culture website, and our focus is on pop culture. Um, so you brought up Zod earlier, kind of a good segue into what we could talk about real quick. So the official casting for Superman, for James Gunn's Superman, has been revealed. So I'd be lying if I said I knew a lot about the two individuals who were chosen as Superman and Lois Lane. Clark Kent, Lois Lane. Sorry, guys. So for Superman slash Clark Kent, we have David Corn Sweat, who I legitimately have never heard of until today, but that's okay. Looking at some of his stuff, he did a show called Hollywood on Netflix, which is a Ryan Murphy show. He also did another Ryan Murphy show for Netflix. I can't remember what it was. And we have Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Um, she's most likely known as the marvelous Miss Mabel. Like, she is Miss Maisel. She is the title character of that show. So we have our cast. Judging from what I've seen and clips, like, I kind of dug into their filmography a little bit just to kind of see what I can dig up on both of them. They look like they got it. Like, they look like Superman and Lois Lane. What do you think, Christian?
I'm excited. I think it is kind of funny that I I just feel like the way that DC handled everything with Henry felt different than the
Mm-hmm.
way they handled everything with literally everybody else, like with Gal and Ben and Jason. It just felt they were like very. It almost felt personal, and
Oh,
so
it was.
yeah, I don't know. I don't. I guess I just don't know about what else is going on behind the scenes. But I also think it's funny that this guy just looks like Henry's younger, skinnier brother.
He really does.
Like they found somebody. They're like, we don't want Henry, but we want a Henry type.
And
Um,
they got it.
yeah. So cool. And yeah, I have not seen the Miss Maisel show. Although I know like one of my favorite comedians from Mad TV is on there. I don't
Oh,
know if
she's
she's still part of
fantastic.
it. Yeah, I love her. Um,
Yeah.
I'm an old school Mad TV fan, so anytime from Key and Peele to Phil Lamar to Bobby Lee,
Mhm.
even Suicide Squad, when I see any cast members from Mad TV, I light up and I get really excited. So, but yeah, I was just mentioning earlier, I super just seeing it on TikTok. I'm like, oh, cool, they cast Evan Rachel Wood. Because I don't know, in my head, she just looks like the spitting image of Evan Rachel Wood. I've seen some other pictures where I'm like, okay, she looks like whoever she is. But yeah, I like you. I didn't do the research. I don't know what they're like, but I'm assuming if Gunn's casting them, then I think we're going to be in good hands.
Yeah, absolutely. You brought up Alex Bornstein is her name. Bornstein.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
she's Lois, the other Lois from Family Guy.
yes. That's
I always
true.
kind of
Very
get that.
true.
Like, that always
I
trips me out
forget.
when I see her. I was like, that's Lois.
I always
Um,
think of her as Miss Swan. That from Mad
yeah, Miss
TV.
Swan.
Yeah,
That
that's
is the
awesome.
best. I love Miss Swan. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about this casting? I mean, I think it's cool that they I don't want to call them unknowns because they're not, but they pick people who they can build a career off of this, which is fantastic. And I think that's cool. I think that's a lot of fun. Hopefully they don't get typecast. Like you mentioned before, she's got, Marvelous Miss Maisel. So she's already doing stuff. It's a pretty big show. People love it. It'll be cool to see how the movie turns out.
I'm really optimistic. I'm looking forward to it. Like Gunn hasn't like really disappointed me ever, so I don't have any reason to doubt it. I guess I know that I know not everybody agrees with that sentiment because I know that there's not everybody's a fan
Right.
of James Gunn. I don't understand that, but whatever. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see it when it finally releases in 2027 after this writer strike and SAG goes on strike, and that's all saved. But
yeah, we got news. I think it was yesterday or today that the Ghostbusters Firehouse is the code name of it. Just finished filming.
Cool.
Finished filming yesterday. You say "oh cool," I say "oh crap."
Oh, that's right. I forgot
the writer strike.
The first movie.
I will see how it turns out. I'm very iffy about anything being made during a writer's strike for various reasons.
Yes. Really quickly, I just find this really interesting. So I frequently go to these figure drawing workshops here in LA. And there's one that I go to, and I always kind of, it's weird because I know how it is, and there's always like this feeling of like this silent competition going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody that goes there, most of the people who go there are working professionals. So I'm dealing with like a bunch of animators, a bunch of film people. So I'm sitting there, and then it's usually I'm the only one that's digital. Like I'm always the one with the iPad. Somebody comes in late, sits right next to me, and he pulls out an iPad too. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're on break, and he turns to me. He's like, iPad gang, and we're like, yeah, cool. And then we start talking, and then he asks, like, he's like, oh, what do you do? And I tell him, and I ask him, and I'm like, oh, what do you do? And he was like, oh, I work in film. And then there was a little pause, and I was like, oh, cool. And then he's waited, and he was like, I work with Zack Snyder. And I'm like, oh, cool. He was like, yeah.
Very in the lead.
I know. So, and then we talked about how Zach is also an alumni from the school that I teach at. It's funny. There's two famous directors that were alumni from my school, and it's Snyder, who I just mentioned, and wait for it, Michael Bay. So I am very careful to talk too much about Michael Bay. Or
you know what's funny? Just real quick, sorry, I don't mean to throw off.
No, yeah.
I was thinking about Zack Snyder today, and I was like, I think he's a good filmmaker. I think he's knows what he's doing. And he's very artsy, very much kind of stays in his own lane and does his own thing. And I was like, and for some reason, I was thinking about how him and Michael Bay are almost interchangeable today. Like, seriously, while I was driving, that is trippy. That is crazy.
That is crazy. So, anyway. I mean, we just kind of talked about Michael Bay, and he had, The Rock is like one of like the craziest action movies of all time. And, he does have good movies, and so does Snyder. I think like he has you mentioned, oh my God.
His Dawn of the Dead was great. Sucker Punch, I thought
Sucker Punch was fun. Yeah. Like they both have stuff, and they both have like iconically, very distinct visual styles, and I think that makes sense. Like knowing that
300, right?
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Like, so it makes sense that both of these guys are Art Center alums. So yeah. I talked to somebody else, and then and the same thing happens. Like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I do this. And then I asked her what she does, and she's like, oh, I work in animation. That's all she said.
What?
So I'm like, cool. I basically realized, like, I've noticed also the workshops have been getting fuller and fuller. The writer strike.
Right,
so everybody's got nothing to do, so they're coming to draw. I looked her up like after I added her on Facebook or Instagram. Mm-hmm. She's like a director. She like really? She does like she was so low key about it. But yeah, she's a director. She worked on like a bunch of I'm not gonna call her out, but like I know she's really talented. She's like really awesome. So
that's really cool, man. Let's get her on the show.
I know exactly.
No, right. That's awesome. That's really cool. So dude, that's crazy about Zach and Michael, because like we're on a first name basis now. So. That's insane. That's cool. That's crazy because they're both very, very artistic. Like where their visual style is very unique and different. I just wish they were both better storytellers sometimes.
Yes,
But
agreed.
you
Agreed.
know, their earlier stuff is great. But
The ambulance one, right? Wasn't that good?
Ambulance was the most recent Michael Bay one, and I thought that was actually really, really good, and especially a lot of the drone work. Like he did a lot of stuff with drones, and he actually hired like these kids these teenagers who
That's
were
so
really
cool.
professional drone guys to do some of the stuff. And you're watching it, and it was just like this. It's like I it's crazy because it's like the one of the first movies I've watched with Eli where he was like pointing out the camera stuff. Like he
That's
was
cool.
talking about it and like talking about how cool that shot was and stuff. And I was like, people are gonna like complain about these new kind of technologies and like drone, camera work and stuff, but it's getting people interested, especially kids, right? It's getting people invested, and hopefully they want to go out and do it. So
It's also just making those kind of shots tangible for like even like the smallest of filmmakers,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, I'd much rather have that than like CG fest, right? Like
Right.
CGI. Not that CGI isn't an art, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
blue screen, like you have this
It's a
weird
balance.
drones. Yeah, drones are just like flying through LA, and it's like going underneath cars and over cars, and like it's insane. And you watch the behind the scenes stuff. That was like happening. Like they were talking about how like
Wow.
we get one chance to shoot this. Like if this drone is like destroyed, we have to go get another one, like all this stuff. Like it's just it's insane like how much work
Crazy.
that goes into it. So but yeah, no, that's crazy. But yeah, have you picked up let's talk about Lego a little bit. Have you picked up any sets or anything lately? Or
I have not picked any sets up, but I have finally started seeing some of the blind bags, the Disney blind bags. So I got
Mm,
Oswald, that's kind of cool.
nice.
And then I got I can't say this name anymore without thinking of that specific TikTok soundbite that I Miguel. That makes me laugh so much though every time I hear it. But the little Miguel from Coco, that is a sweet little minifig right there. So got those two, luckily, and then I picked up another one, and that was just another Oswald. So, but yeah,
Yeah, dude, you could send the Oswald my way.
yeah,
I'll be
right.
happy to receive that. Eli's bringing in we picked up a few of the blind bags also.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, so we got
Oh,
this
cool.
one I was really excited about. It's kind of a bummer because my kids open it up and they're like, "What is this? What is this?"
Oh, that's
Lionheart.
awesome.
Yeah, I was super stoked for that one. We got the Aurora.
Nice.
We
Yeah.
got the Queen of Hearts,
That's
which I
cool.
love.
That face
And
is
then this one got us all really excited. Eli called it, but it was Dr.
nice.
Facilier.
Yeah.
Shadow Man.
I convinced him to get them.
Yeah, my dog. She convinced me. So so let's talk about our Lego
Thanks,
experience this week. And yeah, we said thanks. Arturo got some Disney blind bags. Which minifigs did you get?
Yeah.
I'd love to know. Oh, so we
Yeah.
went to the Lego store. I was Jason is in it. These kids are getting pretty good too. They've been working on it. But so we go to the Lego store. I have some money to spend. I just got back from Seattle, came up with a small bonus. So I was like, I'm gonna go get a set, right? I wasn't sure what I was gonna buy. So initially I was looking for that Disney 100, the villain
Mhm.
VHS tape and stuff like that. Not too expensive, not too much. So I wanted to use some of my, I had like $70 in points or whatever to use. So I was gonna use that and then spend whatever. They didn't have it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna walk around. I was looking for the Space Shuttle Discovery because that's about to
Oh,
retire
cool.
soon. No luck on that.
90 years.
What's that?
90 years of doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? So I saw the, so it was a choice between two. It was the Atari or the Pac-Man set. Arturo got Oswald, the Evil Queen, Mulan, and Pinocchio.
What's that,
That's
Mulan?
cool.
Nice.
I know Mulan would be really cool.
Oh,
So
Tiana.
Tiana, yeah.
Because I could took her to Disney.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could take her to Disneyland. That's true. You could take any of these to Disneyland because they're all Disney, so it's okay.
But like, I'm
You want to
okay
show
with
your Tiana support?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. So I'm like, all right, what am I going to get? So I decide on. So I'm looking at the Pac-Man. They have one Pac-Man on the shelf which the box is a little bit like damaged and crushed. But like to me, I'm like, I don't know, like maybe it's a sign I shouldn't buy it right now. Because yeah, you take them out of the box, but like I like to kind of have the box be nice.
Yeah.
If you're spending that much money, whatever. Like, man, I don't know. So we leave. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna think about it for a minute. We go do our rounds at like Box Lunch and Hot Topic and stuff. We go back, and then we go back, and then it's still that one box up there. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I asked them. I was like, do you guys have any more of these in the back? And they're like, we might, but it's in a storage shed like away from the property. Unfortunately, we don't have keys for that. And all
Yeah,
that.
you're like, I'll wait.
I was like, dang it. I was like, maybe it's a sign I shouldn't buy it then, right? I was like getting all these signs that I shouldn't buy it. So I go to walk away. My daughter's like, you should just get these blind bags. I was like, all right, I'll get some blind bags and we'll leave. As I'm walking up to the register, the dude's coming out with a brand new pristine package. He goes over to put it on the shelf because the other one had been taken. And I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, what do I do? And my daughter, she walks up to it. She's like, God told you to buy this. I was like,
That's great.
So, of course, I bought it. Lego Pac-Man.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked to put it together. I love how it comes with a mini arcade thing.
Yeah.
In there. There's a mini figure and a mini arcade, and then yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm pretty stoked to get started on this guy. There's still a bunch of sets I still want to get. Like I really want to get the Batman Shadow Box. It's like
is that out? That's out already?
It's out already. Yeah, it's out.
Dang.
It looks beautiful. It looks great. They had it all set up and thing put up. The Hocus Pocus house comes out on July 1st.
First, yes.
That's going to be soon too. That's like what, next week?
Friday, I think.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And so yeah, the Shadow Box I still need to get. The Hocus Pocus house I definitely need to get. That Disney Villain VHS set is just so cool. I need to get that. I know like people have been seeing it and stuff, but I'm like waiting till like I can find it in store.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll find it. I've seen it at 2 separate Targets by this point.
So. I'm also looking for the Wall-E and Eve briquettes.
Oh, that's right. No,
I have
not seen.
Yeah, I've not seen those anywhere.
We're going to Disneyland on Thursday, the day after tomorrow. So I'll stop into the Lego store there. It's been a little while since I've been.
Keep an eye out, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to check that one out when we go down there again. I hadn't been at that one since I had my heart broken because I couldn't afford the Ecto one.
Oh man.
It was the OG Ecto one with the minifigs and everything, and it was only like $150 or something
at the time. Yeah.
But couldn't afford it at the time. But here I have the actual $300 Ecto one.
Yeah, which is superior. You got the better one.
Superior. I do kind of wish I got the other one just for the minifigs. Because that one came with the minifigs and the stand and everything.
When Lego had the Lego Dimensions, it was like their amiibo thing.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of. I think you could have gotten all of them that way.
Oh, really?
Because I have Peter, and I think I have another one just from those Dimension figures. As I remember, they discontinued it, and they were on clearance at Toys R Us. I was just eating them up. They were so cheap. And I was like, dude, just collecting. So I have a bunch of like Gandalf and like, you know what I mean? Like crazy, weird.
We have a Gandalf from that. We have an Emmett. We have the one from the Lego movie is Emmett and Wildfire.
Wildstyle,
right?
yeah.
Wildstyle.
Yeah. I also got the Marty and Doc, which was awesome to have. Yeah. So now I have like 2 sets of them from both movies or from the first 2 movies.
I think the Emmett came with the actual set that Eli got.
Oh,
he always just looks so happy. I really like the Wild Style. I think she's cool.
She's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm also just happy to have like a Lego Marty. I'm happy to have any form of Eric Stoltz in my collection that I can find. So it's very, very cool.
Eric Stoltz. It is fantastic.
But yeah. So this week I It's a confession time, guys. I have committed
Juicy.
collector sin, I call it.
Ooh.
I find this rule of, if you see something in the store, buy one, and if you see two, leave it for the next collector. This is not my thing. I took that from Toy Galaxy. I 100% believe in it. I'm a twofer kind of guy. If I really, really like a figure, I'll store one, so I'll keep one in the box and one for opening. I'm usually open. I have spent like 2 weeks hunting down these Ninja Turtle figures. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they released these Mirage 4-pack Ninja Turtle figures. It's about $162 after tax. There was one day where I went to 15 different Targets in just one day, and like every day was like 9 Targets. Finally found it, whatever. I saw it again, and I was like hunting so hard for it. I'm like, it was hard for me to pass it, so I bought it again. So I have an extra set. So here's my thing. If anybody is interested in this and they've been looking for it and they can't find it, let me know and I'll give it to you for retail price. You can Venmo me or PayPal or whatever, and then I will even ship it to you for free. So
that is awesome.
If you want it, so I can atone for my collecting sins. But yeah,
get on that, man. Get on that,
crazy.
y'all. If y'all
wants it,
hit up Christian.
All you have to do for it is DM me on Instagram on my account.
There you go.
You
need to follow him, share his page, get 2 other people to follow.
Yeah,
then he'll sell it to you.
You can contact Nolan or Jason or whoever if you guys want it. Hopefully you guys get it in time. So, but yeah, wow, that's that. And now I'm really excited for this new movie. There is a new movie coming out this weekend. Did you get tickets for Indy already?
Yes, we have not gotten our tickets yet. We are still debating. We're probably going to watch it Saturday just because it's easier. I'm super excited to see it though. Like expectations are tempered, right? So like, I'm not like, I feel like they're at that wavelength where if it's not very good, I'm not going to be disappointed.
Right.
But if it's great, I'm going to be like, it's going to exceed my expectations.
If it was just for like seeing it on paper, the new indie movies coming out, James Mangold's directing, I would be nothing but excited.
Oh yeah, James Mangold. I mean, easily.
Right. It's just, I don't know. Weirdly, there's been like some weird reviews of people not loving it, I guess. So I don't know. I guess it's good to go in a little tempered, I think.
Yeah, and I think that expectations and nostalgia are both kind of a bitch, right? Like they're both like yeah, like we've talked about indie before, but it's like those movies, especially the first 3, are perfect movies. Like people have so much history with those movies and think so highly of the movies that they kind of want to catch that same high, so to speak, right? Like, but it unfortunately just doesn't happen anymore. Like we watched them this week, or we kind of finished watching them this weekend. And as I'm watching it, I'm realizing like they legitimately don't make movies like that anymore. And that's not me being an old man who's like, yelling with my cane, but they just don't make those movies that are action, that have a lot of heart, that have a lot of soul. And like, even the best of like the MCU can't reach what they did with those movies, right? Like it's still insane to me. Like the 80s were kind of this whole generation of those kind of movies.
We just kind of talked about this on another podcast, but you brought up the IGN top 25 action movies of all time list, and Raiders was on it, right? It was Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders was like number 2, I think.
Right. Yeah, it was something crazy. So good, right? It should be on there.
Yeah,
it is, like hard to find. I still stand by, God, if I could add one thing to that, and it's super recent, Puss in Boots, I would put on like.
Yeah, Puss in Boots is up there. It has that feeling, that
it's action, it's adventure, it's heartfelt, it's sincere. I love all the characters.
And actually, I would actually go as far as to say like something like, I love the National Treasure movies.
Right.
I love both of them, especially the first one. Like the first one kind of captures that kind of magic in a weird way. Obviously, it's not the same, but it has that kind of globetrotting adventure, treasure hunting story with a lot of heart, and they want to tell a good story first and foremost.
I have to show you this. By the way, I sent you something on TikTok. I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't been on TikTok in like a while.
It's so funny. It has to do with we've all become underwater experts in the last week. But it's that and the Lego Titanic put together. It's really amazing. Anyway, I don't know if you've been seeing this on Instagram, but I had to buy the sticker. Despite all my rage, I am still just Nicolas Cage. And it's Nick. So if you guys aren't familiar with this,
this is the best.
Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness cover,
Mhm.
Smashing Pumpkins. But it's Nick Cage's face on there. I can't.
That's
I can't kind of
fantastic.
make it
I
up.
love
It's
that.
so good. And and then I do this thing with I just have so many stickers and I don't want to stick them in the wrong place. So I just store them anyway. Yeah, the National Treasure movies are fantastic. There's a lot of Nick Cage movies that could be on that list.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about The Rock.
Yeah.
Before. But yeah, like Indy just has this feeling, this style, this sense of adventure. So I think when people are going to go see this new movie, they're kind of expecting the same thing, and I think it's impossible to replicate, no matter who's at the helm.
Can we talk for a second about the Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
When the Crystal Skull came out, I was working with the toy company. My boss, Johnny, shout out Johnny. I know you're definitely not listening. If shout out to him, but he was obsessed with Indy also. So I've always just heard about this and I knew about this, and then I think Johnny had a copy or something. But so the thing that I heard was the original treatment that George gave Crystal Skull. Have you heard about this? The whole
I've heard a
Monkey
little
King
bit,
story.
but go ahead. I've heard a little bit about it.
So apparently, like the original first draft script that George wrote, starts off like in a haunted mansion kind of deal, like they were doing a ghost thing.
That's kind of cool.
Kind of cool, right? And then it leads to the jungle, and then they do this whole Monkey King storyline. So it's a pretty long storyline, and then I don't know where it goes. And then from what I heard was Steven didn't like it, so he changed it to what we got. But the evidence is still there because there's that weird monkey vine like swinging scene, right? That's like the remnants of the old thing. Yeah. So I recently just watched this thing about it, and like they said nothing about the Monkey King thing. So now I'm like not sure of the information I had like 15 years ago or whenever that movie came out. So I don't know though, but I don't know if you knew anything.
No, I mean I hadn't heard about that. Hadn't heard a whole lot actually about that film in particular. Like the only things I really know is that George was kind of obsessed with like continuing the technology he had with like the prequels, right? Mm-hmm. And kind of wanted to do something more with it and do something different and do something with Indiana Jones or with another character using that same kind of technology. And that's really all I really know about it, because I never really dug too much into it because, again, I've said this before, like I'm not a hater of that movie by any means. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's horrible. They could have done a lot worse. Brandon, our buddy Brandon, he brings up the point about the, one of his podcasts, he's talking about the swinging scene, the monkey swinging scene with Shia LaBeouf. And that seems to be what everyone focuses in on. Like they're like completely 100% like, that's why the movie's bad because of this scene. It's dumb. It's silly. It looks bad. But it's like, yeah, it's like a 10-second scene.
Take it out then, like, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's like weird how that's kind of what stuck with you. What sticks with people. But I think for the most part, like it's Indiana Jones, it feels like Indiana Jones. He's getting older, man. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, so yeah, I'm excited for Dial of Destiny. I think it's going to be hopefully it'll be a good time at least, right? Like that's the only thing I care about. It's not going to be another Flash.
One of Dana's favorite actors is Chris Pratt. I know so many people love Chris Pratt. I'm doing air quotes if you're just listening to this. She's not the biggest fan of Chris Pratt. So I keep joking. I'm like, who knows? Maybe we can do some prequel indie stuff and get Chris Pratt in the fedora. And she was like, if I wasn't so anti-violent. Really funny.
I think I've heard those rumors, and I know Chris Pratt's heard those rumors. Everyone's heard those rumors. I'm not okay with that.
No.
I don't think like you can't like recap. The problem is like if you're gonna do a prequel of Indiana Jones, like you have to do it before everyone knows what Harrison Ford looked like, 20 years, 30 years ago, whatever, 40 years ago. What year is it? I forget. Like 40 years ago, right? Like but again, like I say that, but the same thing happened with Solo, right? Like everyone knew, like
Or they could just cast Alden Aaron, right, or whatever his name
that
is.
would actually be really clever. That would actually be really clever. I would actually kind of love that for a little bit. That's what I say about like Tom Hanks movies. If you're gonna like remake Tom Hanks movies, just get Colin Hanks to play Tom Hanks in every single one. Like they do a Forrest Gump remake, put Colin Hanks in there.
That's so
like,
funny.
Turner and Hooch, Colin Hanks.
I really actually do like Colin Hanks a lot.
I think did you ever watch Life in Pieces?
No,
it's a show on CBS. I think it's on Hulu now or something. Such a good show.
He was on Conan on his podcast, and did you know that he has a line of handkerchiefs? It's like Hank's hankies. It's so brilliant.
I heard about that, but I totally forgot about that.
Brilliant, like absolutely brilliant. Like what a way to. That's the funniest way to use their last name.
Dude, that's great. That's great. So yeah. Colin he's certainly the most normal Hank's child.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a funny actor. I know he does some behind the scenes stuff too. I might be mistaken. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, he does a lot of writing. He does a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I just saw Tom Hanks. I know Tom Hanks' stuff last year wasn't really going over well between Elvis and Pinocchio.
Yeah.
But I will say, this year so far with Asteroid City, it's much better.
I forget he's in Asteroid City.
There's too many people in that movie. Like, yeah, that's a fair thing to forget.
That is crazy to me. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, Asteroid City's out too. If y'all want to check it out, Christian saw it. Check out our review on one of our podcasts we have coming out this week.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of them.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I saw the Jennifer Lawrence movie.
No Hard Feelings.
Thank you. Now I forgot. No Hard Feelings. That was a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have to go check that out. But like I said, I think the next one is indie for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be indie for me too. I should probably buy tickets tonight if I'm smart. So
definitely. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's our show for everybody for our break therapy. I know we didn't do a lot of break therapy this time, but there was a lot of stuff to talk about. I was really, really excited to talk about it. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for checking out the show. Christian, where can they find you?
Christian Nacorda, no space, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Come find me. Kevin, what about you?
Yes, you can find me at Kevin Hoskinson or Kevin_Hoskinson on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Please come find us. Come talk to us. We'd love to chat with you guys and hear how you guys are doing. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for checking out the show. We'll see you guys next week for a new episode of the Pastrami Nation podcast. And also check out My Public Life as an American Nerd, which will be out. It's out every Wednesday. And we also have Geek Galaxy with Yam and the Boys. That'll be out shortly. We have a new episode coming up. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. You guys have a good day. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.